A woman can be stronger than a man. There are even families. Here's a husband and wife, both practicing. And they are racing who is stronger. Here they also have such a thing. But it all depends on how you work, how you've worked it all out. But there are a lot of nuances. In general, the world of magic is very much like that. Went in and out. I offer a sacrifice instead of a man. I'm not giving up a client to be torn to pieces. The client wants something. Before he gets something, he needs to pay. If you don't want to pay with money, pay with health, pay, well, there are children for it, relatives. Why should we suffer if I gave up magic? My brother died, and the loved ones begin to leave. It's not just me. Here, loved ones begin to leave. Naturally, we are already taking payoffs. We even get together all together. Sacrifice. We say spells. Well, we have our own there. We have to give something to the forces so that they will give us in return. Before you embark on this path, you need to think about whether it is worth it or not. Because there is no way back.
Hello, dear friends. Shadow Control is on the air. And today we have Svetlana in the studio. Hello, Svetlana. Svetlana is a finalist of the 18th Battle of Psychics and a participant in the TV project Investigation is Conducted by Psychics. But, as we know, Svetlana has quite an extensive life activity, but today, we would like to talk exclusively about your magical part of it. And the first question will be, tell me please, how long have you been practicing magic?
I was born like this. I had a grandmother. The predictions started from childhood, but I didn't notice it. Classmates noticed. Even now, let's say they write to me, yes, you were special, but you acquired the full power of magic at the age of 24.
They said predictions. Could you have seen something, predicted something to someone?
No, I've been doing it somehow since I was a child. So I said it will be, so it will be. I want, of course, to spoil the mood. I said if you die, you die. Well, somehow it went like that for me. And my grandmother, I have a mother. Well, everyone was afraid of me. They were afraid in the sense that I didn't blurt out anything superfluous, as they say. And in the end, well, I've already found out that I'm especially 16 years old. I was told that my mother's grandmother, she says, is not like everyone else. And we are afraid of you, and we are afraid to offend you. But nevertheless they offended me. But it wasn't out of spite that I could say something there. And so it is, and I'll tell you, it will be so.
Oh, so that's how it manifests itself.
And now, yes, that's when I acquired the full power of magic. I already realized that it was time to go to the cemetery. That is, I somehow had such a pull. I was not afraid, and walked so calmly, especially at night, and so far. But now I don't visit the cemetery like that anymore. But there are parishes there.
All right. But you said that at the age of 24, you felt that you had fully gained strength. How did this happen?
There came such a moment in my life, as it were, a turning point. She turned me around, but something like that happened to me. I was not interested in anything. I didn't know where to go next. And not work. Well, not study, but I was not satisfied with anything at all. And so I went to a woman once, and they told me she was guessing. But I was so drawn to simple cards. But it's such that I didn't have anything like that to take here, and she tells me, you're special, you're a witch. Because at that time, they started calling an ambulance for her. She became ill.
Is this a woman who?
Yes, she got sick. I was still sitting in her hallway. Her name is Angelica. I was still sitting in the hallway, and she had an ambulance here, and she was afraid of me in general. She says, you especially take the cards. And then she sent me to church for something. Well, where do I go to church? But I don't visit this, very rarely. And then if something needs to be done there, and so, somehow, gradually, it came to mind by itself. It's coming, I can't explain it to you. Here it is necessary, then it is necessary. Here I can blow up in the middle of the night and go to the cemetery, when I always have candles in the trunk of my car. For chicken, of course, you need to order. Well, that's all that's necessary. There's a ritual knife, ritual tools. Naturally, I have everything lying down. That's what I wanted. I went. Here it tears, and it lets go, and gradually it is so. I don't even know. Somehow it's all in one click.
You said it comes to mind. In what form? In the form of, I don't know, they're verbally, and you suddenly heard a voice or what, maybe some kind of picture. Or we just start.
It's like it's like we're talking right now, only the same thing is happening in my head.
Is that your voice or something?
No. No.
He is constantly alone. And so, let's say, with you there from the age of 16, from the age of 24.
Well, in general, I started hearing voices around the age of 18. I thought at first I was studying then. At first I thought I probably read a lot of books, probably memorized, but it turned out not. I could even come to the exam, not to prepare at all, but only give them to learn one ticket. And I knew that I would pull it out. Well, I didn't even have to study exams. I knew. I just pulled out one ticket and that's it. I went on.
That is,
It came to me here. Take this, take this. Me, for example.
there were some fairy tales.
Yes, and even now I still have them. Here. I had a live broadcast on Facebook about 2 weeks ago. They asked me when the shooting will take place. Svetlana, when will we see you? And I say, soon. So it turns out like this. You invited me and another channel invited me. That's the same thing I had a year ago with an accident. I saw my accident clearly in 6 months, that I will smash the car beautifully. And so it turned out, not a scratch, nothing. I just got scared. Soon I arrived. They say, where is the driver? And the engine was already in the middle in the cabin. I say, I'm here.
Okay, but this is just an interesting experience. If you've seen, yes, here's what happens, well, an accident.
I don't see the day and time.
So there was nothing you could have done to avoid it.
No, I've seen 3 of my surgeries. I saw the first one, the second one. Well, so that I could do something for myself or help in my favor, I would naturally bypass all of this. But I can see, but I can't get around it. To predict exactly when it will be, I do not know. And recently, I haven't had a month since the operation, and I saw the third and clear operation. And there she was. But I see clearly those moments that I will have in my life. I see them all.
Well, this vision, yes, it concerns only you. Or you can see, well, there are other events for other people. Is it controlled or not?
I'm out of control at this moment. I saw everything. It came to my mind. It's like an arrow. That's it. It means it will be. And there's no way around it. As for other people, I can only say who will die when.
Yeah.
Now I see clearly that the deceased is already walking.
And how? Is that clear? There you go.
Well, there.
Looking at the person there, I do not know.
Not.
Something arises.
No, you're all right.
No. I'm not for myself, I'm just generally interested. But,
It can be seen that it is already behind the person.
and what?
Well, in your opinion, how do you like it? Well, how can I explain it? How do I tell ordinary people this? The messenger of death is already behind you. That's it.
Yeah. I see.
But such a force will defend. And that's it. I already know that for 3 years this person, well, practice has been showing for 3 years.
Such a question. You said you were drawn to the cemetery.
Yes.
Why? For what? Were there any explanations? Or is it just that you came to the cemetery and what?
I had a desire to leave the apartment. I left the apartment. I walked around the city, and I realized that I had to go there somehow. I actually wanted to go to my brother's cemetery. So I wanted to go to my brother at night, and I take a taxi, go to the store, take a cognac. I don't understand why, although I don't drink. I take cognac, I take sweets, everything is as it should be, and I take to disposable cups. And I clearly understand what is needed. I crossed, as they say, the boundaries of the dark forces. It's a graveyard at night for us. I step over, throw the change. It's like I have everything like a robot.
That is, it was as if you were led, yes, by something.
Yes, and I didn't go to my brother. I didn't get to him. I went in a completely different direction. On some grave, I'm not going to lie, or it was a woman, and it was a man. I left a payoff. Somehow I have it. I didn't read it. I wasn't interested. I somehow have it all by myself. A person who is like me, he will understand me. But it's hard for me to explain it. My husband even asks me sometimes how. I say, I don't know. So I said it will be so, so it will be so.
And has it ever happened that, let's say, here you are being pushed yes to something, but you resist it and do not do it?
No,
Not. Wasn't there.
no, no. I always follow the lead. I already know.
What we have already.
For how many years, yes, for how many years has this happened to me? I've kind of, well, gotten used to it. If, for example, I am not drawn to such feats, but I already understand myself. I need to go. I need to present something to my master and my forces.
What kind of masters are these? What kind of forces?
Black forces.
Dark?
Yes.
Is there another name?
Well, look, the concept of black and white does not exist. Magic, she's alone. People have already divided it up. Someone is pumping out eggs there, but this is generally nonsense. It's pumping out on the balls, but I'm laughing from this, because, well, in order to really do something, and make a person feel good there, for example, to free him from something there, or even to do this cleaning, it is necessary to make every effort. Well, it takes a lot of money to pay off. It needs to be presented to the black forces to give something away from themselves, to pay off so that they give it to you. What you ask? Well, to roll eggs, as our people like to go to their grandmother with a loaf of bread, a dozen homemade eggs. But there are no blacks and whites. She's the only magic. It's just that people there have so habitually divided themselves into blacks and whites. And I don't do bad things there. You're doing magic. Magic is everything.
What is magic in your understanding?
Magic, these are forces that can do anything.
Without exception.
Yes.
What is the temptation of magic for a person practicing, and someone who wants to turn to it?
Well, customers, you can say so. For them it's already like a drug. If a person has applied once, and he sees the result. That's it. I have regular customers for any little thing. Svetlana, help me. Svetlana, help me. But for them it's already like drugs. Addiction. They know they have paid, and do not see the result that they want to see. Well, of course, for myself it's like a plus sign for me there. And yet I serve the master. Well, yes, it's an addiction. For people, it's an addiction.
And for the practice?
Well, it's a great experience. This is another experience. This is another plus for you. And more you gain strength. There is no such thing that, let's say, a practitioner or a max did something once, that's all. He has a facet. No, we are growing. We have years going on. It's the same with the forces. They are added, added and added.
And why should a magician accumulate strength?
How for what? Well, there is a max. There is a practitioner. That is, there is a witch, and there is a practitioner. Who is the practitioner? Someone who is an ordinary person, decided to just learn how to do magic. Even, let's say, the same tarot cards, or the usual cleaning there on water, or on a knife. Well, there is, well, cemetery magic in general. It's only the generic ones who do it. I'm generic. That's the way I'm going. I have to dial, to pass on to someone. It's a chain. Let's say I have a baby. I have to give it to him. If I have a son, it means a granddaughter. Well, of course I'll give it back later. It's like, I don't know, a wedding gift.
Yeah.
Refuse firm.
Yes, I am. And how do you like this gift?
Well, I refused twice. It ended badly. My brother left. Well, the owner takes the most expensive. My brother left. And, let's say so, my first love. He was generally an opponent of magic. The cards were torn.
In the process of work, right?
But it's empty. The cards are lying. And I still had these playing cards back then. Here. And he tore up these cards. You're not going to do anything. It's not yours. You don't need it. And I went to the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's different with us. I even did the wrong ritual. Somewhere something went, as they say, not according to plan. Everything is there. I got it.
All right. But realizing that you have to really balance. Yes. Here on this edge. Isn't it scary?
Nah, there's no turning back.
Everything, that is, if.
That's it. If it's already going, then it's already going.
Just go ahead, right?
Yes, especially generic. It is unrealistic to refuse. They say there, Oh, I went. I gave my gift there, to throw it there. No, well, good people, it's the same. Well, how can you convey what you have been given? You won't pass it on, you'll never get rid of it. That's it, that's the end.
And like this is the period that, well, let's say when you know, yes, that, well, you are a witch in your case.
An ugly word.
Yeah, well, or is there a Mac, right? Realizing that you have a gift, well, like in your case, foresight, was it easy for you to live with the reaction of the people around you? Who were afraid of you, avoided somewhere in some way?
Yes, there was discomfort, especially, well, in my circle even before the battle there were such people who knew and were not afraid. On the contrary, welcomed everything, addressed, but after the battle, of course, there was a full house, and there appeared in my life, yes, people who really understand me, accepted me for who I am. For example, my husband was very afraid of me. In our relationship, I sought him out, although I knew that we would be together, but he is afraid. Naturally, I took the first step. Well, yes, people are afraid. Well, they are afraid, so they respect. But I'm walking along calmly. I know that no one will do anything to me. It's just that I don't like it when a lot of sycophants have appeared in my life, who smile with their eyes, are afraid, here, and behind their eyes they think, what a bad girl I am after all.
Svetlana, tell me, how is your reception going? A person comes to you, says, I want this, yes, or there's trouble with this, please help. Do you have any kind of priority? Well, what are you doing or your wife?
But first, I understood your question. At first, of course, I look, maybe there is no trouble there. Usually people create a picture for themselves. If they have something wrong somewhere, that's it, they did it to me, I have damage. In general, such an ugly word is spoilage. Well, I don't know. He was. Probna, well, so probleno. At first I look. There are some people who will even stumble, and tell them they have done something. And once again, they order, let's say, a ritual. All this I came. Yes, I have a problem there. I look, for example. There is no problem there. That's what I'm saying. But the person thinks that I lied to her, and she goes to another specialist, and another specialist, and there are many of them. Yes, you have a spell here to kill you.
Let's go in general.
And that's it. Now give me the money. And from 20,000 and above. And people give away such money. They give the money themselves. And then they say, charlatans. So you gave it away yourself. You came to my appointment. That's it. And you just paid for the appointment. But I'm for you. If I tell you that there is no damage on you, then that's it. And you don't have it on you. But if you don't believe me, you go to another specialist. Another specialist says yes. Because, well, how are we? We see the person already. There is such a person. He will come. She is ready to pay any money. Just to say yes, she has damage, if only we would tell her what the client wants. She said corruption means corruption, and you won't do anything. Well, there you say, yes, okay, I'll clean you up. Although you understand that I don't even have to do any work. But when you reassure a person that you will clean him, that's it. He will be, well, calm. Just what am I leading up to? There are many, many scammers. If they force you and tell you to die, your children are calm there and the like. That's it. This is no longer a psychic. This is no longer a witch. This is no longer a practitioner. We turn around beautifully and leave. Because yes, if there really is something there, then I start doing it in front of a person after all. I immediately start a little ritual during the reception. But since we are now conducting receptions online, because I have a job and this quarantine, I can't, for example, accept a person. There is no such possibility now, but no, only through online. But if my regular customers are there, there are always flaws somewhere, of course, or they come, or photos.
That is, in order to carry out some kind of ritual, well, even the same cleansing, yes, let's call it conditionally. There must be some kind of contact with a person.
Of course.
It's just on camera, I don't know, it's not very effective.
A photo or an item.
Or a human thing.
A man's thing, yes.
And what is the reason for a photo or a thing?
Well, I concentrate on the person. I'm not like there on some kind of there, on some kind of animal. I'm on this person. That's it.
So it's like a link with a person.
Of course, of course. It's unrealistic to clean a person directly. Well, I have had such cases, and it's not just me. People are losing consciousness.
And because of what?
Because we're starting to pull out all the muck, and the energy is weak, and that's it, and the person turns off.
And it turns out that the magician cannot continue the work further. But if a person...
Of course, now, we are already thinking about how to bring a person to his senses. But when I get involved in work, for example, I am either a thing or a photograph, I try not to do it as rigidly as possible, so that a person feels it all as much as possible. Well, in 3 days I do it all, if there is such a non-global purge. In 3 days, I cope, because then clients call me and say, there's an ambulance that doesn't have them sleeping under the entrance, but they have bad pressure. Blood is coming from the nose and vomiting. But with them, they feel it all. One client even had a case, called an ambulance and said, "A witch cleans me."
Wait, right.
They sent her to the Durga. Well, the doctors think he is. Doctors don't always understand us, but although there are cases that they themselves say look for.
That is, how would official medicine also recommend?
They recommend it. Yes, we are recommended, but this is in rare cases.
All right. And among the clients, let's say there are doctors.
Yes.
There is, right.
Yes. I won't even talk, and I won't name names, but the chief gynecologist of Ukraine.
Already, in principle, the name can be said.
Well, wait, there are 2 of them.
Oh yeah, that's right too.
There are 2 of them, and not only doctors.
I see. And who else? Well, here it is most often addressed.
Politics.
Politicians. Yes.
Yes, they're amateurs.
For protection.
No.
Not.
Well, protection of course, but they have their own problems there. They have their own problems.
Please tell me, how long have you been working with maps? And what is it all for?
Well, it's been 7 years. Well, this is a tool that determines the most necessary things in a person, in a client. Then the client came to me for help. He is interested there. The question answer is there, for example, or how to get out of there such and such a situation. Naturally, we are already starting to look at the maps. In other words, it is such a tool. It is our attribute, without which we cannot disassemble. For example, the client. You can't look at it like that. But if it's like that in a nutshell, and quickly, then only through tarot cards. They also show, or there is damage, or whatever it is, what is going on with a person in general, or what will happen next with work, how his life will go on. It's all only through tarot cards.
Do you work with them often?
Yes, when I have receptions. Yes, I'm with clients on tarot. As it is, they are in my glove compartment, at home, everywhere, and in every bag.
That is, always with you.
Yes, it so happens that they always need me.
All right. And how did you choose a deck for yourself? Well, because. With us.
It's like kids. It's like a child. But you take care of them. You watch them. And even the best bag is for them. Everything is the best for them. Well, I liked her. She came to me. This deck. That's what we say to each other. She came to me. I actually have 17 decks already. And so out of 17, maybe none of them will suit me, for example. On this day, none of them will obey. They are like children. They are capricious. They also need to be charged. They need to be given some kind of energy.
And what kind of energy? Well, for example, what kind of energy do they need?
Mine. I'm the hostess.
How does this happen?
But I'm not going to reveal all the trumps at once.
Understood. Good.
This is not being told.
Most often, in general, this is what people come with. What do they ask for?
That's when this coronavirus came. Everyone came with love spells, because the husbands stayed abroad somewhere to work there, or the guys went to work. Men have shown themselves in this regard. They want the woman not to go anywhere. Because usually, when quarantine has put us all under house arrest, let's say so, families start swearing in a month or 2, because everyone looks at each other 24 hours a day. There is a madhouse in the apartment. Well, it's like the same thing, everyday life, and quarrels begin. And recently, people have started coming here saying that, let's somehow save our family. Psychologists can't cope, but 24 hours a day, Husband and wife are in the apartment and children. The attic is tearing up.
Oh, and how?
There is no work, but they are all sitting because they are quarantined. That's it. That's when the first wave was. That was, yes, tin.
And how can magic help here?
Well, of course, we help. Making bindings.
It somehow calms people down.
But that's not how they fight. Yes, we also blunt quarrels. So they didn't let me into the cemetery either, when there was quarantine, and the cemetery was closed.
That is, well, roughly speaking, you have been deprived of a field of activity, a tool.
They closed the cemetery and the villages, the nearest village, and went there. But there is no security there, such as, for example, in the city. The guard is there, and this is the central gate. Here are the fences. We're not going to jump, are we?
Is it difficult to perform any kind of magical ritual or the same diagnostics at all? I don't know, physically, energetically, morally.
Morally, no. Physically, I won't say that I'm overworked, but somewhere like that. Well, it's healthy. It hits health hard, and naturally, we take risks, and we want it to work out the first time. Well, it happens that from the third, from the fourth, comes the ritual.
So you have to repeat it.
Of course, and then you steal not the client's money, but your own money. You're already going into such a minus. There's not 1,000, not 2, not 3 need to settle. If you want a result, then you need to pay off gorgeous. And you're already trying, because the client is waiting, and you don't want to fall in his eyes. Well, it's for me too. I want to make it. I want to.
And what is the interest? Yes, in your words, yes, the dark forces have money. Well, they don't seem to go to the store with them. They won't buy anything for themselves. Why exactly do they need money? Or the same alcohol?
Look, before I go to the cemetery, I go to the cemetery first with a payoff. I buy for a second 3 or 4 bottles of expensive 5-star cognac. I buy meat, I buy blood, I buy live chicken. I buy candles, order, and the candles are not like those from Auchan, and I order handmade candles. Here is the same practitioner as me. Now count the gasoline, and now count it is necessary. I leave up to 1,000 hryvnias in the cemetery with money, and this is a payoff. That's all. Here, calculate juice. It will all be worth it. And plus my job. Naturally, I won't go there for free. And plus, we still need to pay off for the client, because he is the customer. I am the performer. That then in the future his forces did not touch his family either. It's very expensive. And how much does the tool cost? Everything is handmade too.
Well, you mean knives there, but what else do you use?
A lot of things.
A lot.
Of course.
For example?
For example, silver pentagrams go, candles go silver.
Well,
I say candles. Exactly.
silver, right.
It is with silver candles.
What is the reason for, well, silver, let's say?
Protection. We also protect ourselves, because, well, often and thickly we can. Practitioners will understand me. We cling to the settlers. Then, of course, where am I going? To his mentor, who will shoot it all. And I pay money for that too. I also come from the cemetery not alone anymore.
A subsettler, it restricts that.
I can't take it off myself. We need a person, well, a practitioner like me, just a little stronger, so that she removes it all or he.
And why stronger? Here again with what?
Because she will fight the forces that are in me, plus my powers.
Oh, also yours.
Of course. She has to, let's say so, punch me. I allow myself to be punched during this period, because I trust this person 100%. I help her, she helps me. We are nowhere without each other. For example, she can take, well, she takes it all off, but she doesn't pass it through herself anymore. She's already on there on zinc. Through metal, here's zinc or silver. She melts it all, but she has her own there. Well, he has his own nuances about this. But I feel that yes, I'm already lech, it's already fine, already driving, already more or less 70 can already go, not 20.
Your master, can he protect you from the settlers?
No, it's already here.
This, not its functionality.
No, this is already our flaw somewhere. We did not insure ourselves well. We put up poor protection.
Payback, in fact, is the protection of the magician and payback for the client. This is client protection.
And purchase. And we present the purchase with a demon. the purchase to our master. Plus I'm telling you, when I go for the first time, it's not up to the ritual yet. I'm just driving, making a dead man's call.
Is it a certain one, or is it this?
Where will it lead already? A dead man's call, if not a nominal one. The dead man's call, and I'm asking for permission. If there is no permission,
You don't have to go.
goodbye, we are waiting. As they say, since a person has, yes, today is a good day, a bad day. Today he's in the mood, tomorrow he's out of the mood, also with higher powers. It's dangerous to play with him here.
Everyone can be ready to accept.
Yes,
They may not be ready.
yes.
How do you understand that? Well, the deceased will answer, well, a knock, figuratively speaking, at the door.
I'll give it to you.
There's some kind of signal or inner understanding.
But usually it comes at night.
At night, right?
Yes, the subconscious mind that yes, it is possible.
That is, it's well, not an image of some kind.
No, no, it's all here already.
That is,
We can go now.
go ahead.
That is, you see. Well, I'll explain it to you so figuratively. That is, you see, it's already possible to go to work. Everything went perfectly.
Have you personally had to remove the settlers from people?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they took pictures of themselves and of me.
Difficult.
Yes, it's dangerous. Well, it's dangerous to take it off a person. When a person is possessed, let's say so, it is very dangerous for him, because you can skip it all through yourself. We are already letting everything through ourselves, and here is a podsolnets. Naturally, somewhere something is wrong, and that's it. You're going to shoot too.
What is the danger of having a human settler at all? What can he do with it?
Death.
Ah, that is, he can bring up to.
Of course, a settler. It's a dead man. Where he came from, that's where he pulls.
And what pulls?
The vital energy is being sucked out. A man is dying. This is death.
Why would he, if he is dead, cling to the living, and takes away his vital energy?
Souls, they don't understand where the living or the dead are. They're all done. If they are in our world, they don't understand who is alive and who is dead. Here he clung to a living body. That's it. And he's pulling him there because he's from Earth. His body is in the ground. He found his body and lies back down.
And how do you determine that a person has a subsettler?
It's visible.
Are there any?
Eyes. The eyes betray, and it shows that he is not alone in the body. For example, on my third day, I notice that my mother already knows when I start to stutter. I have pupils like a cat. I walk around the walls like a drunk. I'm constantly lying down. I don't want anything. And mom is already saying, Sveta, even the husband already knows, and by chance is not with a settler. It's immediately visible, immediately visible.
Relatives are aware of the case.
Yes, yes. And people like me, for example. We will also immediately see where there is a settler. Immediately. There is a client. I even visit my mentor. I'm not even calling. I come to her, opens the door. Oh, are you not alone? I say, yes, save.
And has it ever happened that, well, they could not, let's say, rid a person of settlers?
There was no such thing.
Wasn't there? Yes. That is.
I'll lay down my bones. I'll take them off. I'm interested myself. Each time, these settlers are different. But somehow, with each experience, it gets harder and harder.
It's harder to deal with them, right?
Yes, it's harder to cope.
And what is caused by?
How this alien came into living body. It doesn't want to let go. That's it.
What should I do to make him leave?
Get lost.
Yes.
But it must be a ritual to do.
How? Which one?
But I won't show it in me here.
No, don't show. Well, that's just there.
This is done in the cemetery.
In the cemetery?
Of course.
Without a person.
From where to me with a person?
That is.
Yes, presence. I went there and went with a man.
That's where I came from. That's where I went. That is, you determined specifically what kind of deceased it was, from which grave or this.
No.
Is that enough?
That's enough. That's enough. Well, if a man, then a man's grave. If a woman.
It doesn't happen, does it? On the contrary, that a dead woman clung to a man.
In my practice, I have not noticed this.
All right. And how do they cling? Well, it's clear to you, there you are somewhere, something there with protection is not such a job. And to an ordinary person.
Well, a person went to the cemetery, or they could even make a settler, plant him. Here, they purposefully take it and plant it. For example, I can do that too, but I don't do that.
And why get hooked?
Well, people want, for example, to bring a person off the ground or to go with your brains.
This is murder, figuratively speaking.
Yes, But a person gets into a nut house. His first stop is Durka. He's got pills burning up there. They think that this man has lost his mind. But I'll tell you 70%, even 75%, there are people with settlers in hospitals. Yes, it's hard, it's hard.
Medicine does not understand what to do with it.
Well, there are those who recognize, I say, and there are those who do not recognize. Personally, I understand these people. They're not sick, but it just happened. Well, as it is, you can't go to the cemetery, preferably after sunset. You can't at night, as there are people who will get drunk. I noticed so many times when I was working, drunk people come by taxi. You can't do that. You're violating someone else's territory, you're disturbing peace, and get a gift.
Well, that is, the settlers themselves jump out, or someone tells them there, so in theory, join him, he broke our rules there.
No, no, there's a catch. On the territory of the cemetery there is a master or mistress of the cemetery. In other words, this is the first one who was buried here, and of course, if you passed, well, everyone is resting there, well, there should be silence. And when people come, they come there drunk and start there, oh, crying as they know how, I'm sorry, well, everything happens, and they attract him. The most important thing is this. How can I explain it to you? The reason is here in the brain. When a person thinks constantly, he attracts. Right. You think they can become material. And it's the same with the settlers. The more you think about the dead, the more he pulls you. There are even such cases. The husband is there, for example, or the wife died, right, and within 40 days, the other half leaves. You can't attract. People do it themselves. People destroy it all themselves.
Cemetery. This is the only place where a person here, well, can't catch a settler, no.
No, no, no. At intersections everywhere.
Intersections and more. Or here.
Yes, everywhere.
Just even.
Everywhere. But practice shows more cases in the cemetery.
If there are some universal methods of protection, here, well, there are preventive measures, let's call it that. Without turning to a specialist here.
But if magic has already been touched, well, without a specialist anywhere.
Nowhere.
Nowhere. We need a good specialist. There is a specialist who will take the money, but will do nothing. And not just money. As customers cry, tell and come from the damage on the fur coat. Let's get fur coats. I even know who does it with psychics, is engaged in this kind of dirty work. Here are the candlesticks. There is also damage on them. We need to take it all away. We will destroy it. But this is nonsense, and people are led to it. If you already have magic on you, or you have encountered magic, you are nowhere without practice.
You won't figure it out.
And if there are also such practices, these grandmothers are all sorts of things too, like a law psychics. Go to the cemetery, do this and that, and that. Yes, never in his life will a real practitioner send an ordinary person there. Everything is done by a practitioner. You paid him for it. He does everything. Well, the maximum I can give people restrictions there. Alcohol is not allowed there on this day. There is sex. Well, it depends on what kind of ritual. And my client, he observes all of this, these rules. But never go to the cemetery, never. Who there would not send. It is impossible. This is no longer a practitioner.
Do you need to recover or replenish somehow?
Of course. Of course I'm recovering. And I don't even answer the phone when I'm recovering. But I'm not going to tell you how, because my colleagues will also be watching. Don't need it. It's different for everyone.
In different ways.
Yes. Well, of course, we are recovering. And I observe the fast.
Magic and the church, are they connected or not?
Of course. We have Tamara sitting here.
Yes.
Yes. I can come to church, Father, and say, move over. He disperses all the mothers. I start working near the altar, and he won't kick me out. He has no right.
Even so.
Yes.
Wow. Any Max can afford it, or only.
But if.
Some kind of.
If you doubt yourself, then sit there at home or in the cemetery. But I can afford it. I came, and I will do it.
Well, you come in order to address the bar. Well, or there.
In general, well, what is a church? It's a business, where the priests drive Lexuses, relax in the sauna with the girls. And you have to pay for candles. Well, they don't pay money for candles. It's a business. The icons are there. Well, it is also necessary to baptize the child, 2 or 3,000 to dump out. But this is nonsense. And what is baptism? It's you who give the child to the devil for baptism. Yes, here take an interest. Even the Pope knows all this. They have the Vatican there. They have the old ones. What are they called there? They wrote there.
Have you come?
Yes. Well, they all worship about the bar. Them. Yes, we kind of walk under the Lord. That's what they say for ordinary mortals. But they all worship the devil. And the rite of baptism is a rite of Satanism. Like the devil, they anointed him, and they do the same with the child.
This is now, of course, shocking information.
I have a lot of fans because I know what I'm doing, but they take me as a godfather, and everyone knows I'm a witch. I say, come on, I'll bring it to the devil. Come on, cut whatever you want, as long as you're my godmother. That's it.
Well, that is, they laugh like that, but people don't take it seriously.
Well, no, it's the 21st century now. Open YouTube, open Google. And what is the rite of baptism? A Satanist's rite.
That is, hair cutting. This is all rolling. This is, well, basically, a magical action.
The way they do it. Like on legs, there on the forehead. There's a fifth point there somewhere. It takes a long and tedious story to tell.
So, then let's go back to the universal method of protection. Let's say, can a person I don't know behave somehow, do something? Because even now, I don't know if it's worth asking if it's possible to go to church for protection.
What kind of protection is there in the church?
Well, people believe, they go.
Well, people wrote a little book that was rewritten 155 times. It's called the Bible, the Holy Word. What kind of protection can there be? And who knows who wrote this Bible? And let's, if we delve into the Bible, and so everyone, yes, everyone is so correct, everyone is so pious. And who was Jesus Christ? Where has he been for 32 years or 33? Why did he walk on water? Because Jesus Christ was doing magic too. He was with these, what are they called? Like yoga, something like that. They deepened what they did. Well, not such magic as we have. Well, walking on water. It's like illusionists. Walked on water. But let's delve into the magic. In general, there are such people on the threshold that some kind of czar wrote this Bible so that people would at least be afraid of something. People are not afraid of anything.
Are people not afraid of anything? How are you? This is an everyday experience or practically.
Yes.
They are not afraid. That is, neither the dead nor the settlers.
As they say.
No magic.
As they say. The main thing is for me. It's good to live here. And what will be there? I don't care. I live once. I say, you live more than once.
Is the mortal fate important for a magician after death?
You know, I have also thought about this issue, and I have also communicated with my colleagues. We don't even know what to answer this question.
So you don't know what awaits you after death?
No.
But is it important to pass on the gift?
Yes. We don't know. I tell you, we chewed it up and sorted it out on the shelves. There is nothing that, let's say, foreshadowed the afterlife for us. I don't know. Maybe there will be a reincarnation. I don't know.
And no mentor.
No one will answer this question. Here's for us.
The same grandmother.
It's closed to us.
Closed, right.
Well, Grandma will tell you for 100 hryvnias that you will go to hell or heaven there. It's just to kill time. Well, usually a person goes to a witch, psychics, to a grandmother. For what? So that she confirms her words. Here's Jen there, for example. The client screwed everything up there. They did it to me, here, and if we, clients, come to us, and we see that you say it's red, she will tell you that it's black, and she will prove to you in such a way that you will really believe that it is already black. A person wants to hear and see what he already understands, and what he has drawn a picture for himself there. And no one knows what awaits us next. Well, The fact that yes, it is necessary to convey this yes.
If there are, well, the dead, right. Here are the dead, probably, there is also someone else.
That is, the lower world and us.
Bottom, and that's it.
Yes.
That's where it ends. That is?
There is, but there is more. There are different people. Well, there is, how should I tell you? Since then, people, I don't even know what to call them, we somehow, well, we communicate with each other, we understand each other. Yes, the ancestors. They were even stronger than us in those days. And they are among us too. There are these people.
They are manifested in bodies, or they are some kind of.
Yes, they are stronger than us, let's say, practitioners and magicians. Here we are afraid of them.
Why are you afraid?
Well, because...
Don't you know?
A thought. Well, what is it? If you take this for example, this person who is above us, but these are not ancestors. I don't even know what to call it in words. That's how alien lovers are. Here are people from outer space, as it were. That's the kind of people we're afraid of because we don't know how to approach them. Even if we don't know when she will come to me, let's say, approximately. She wanted to come to my appointment. Well, I do not know how to behave with them, and they have a completely different aura. Their energy is different.
But you define them, that this is, well, this is it.
It is necessary. I do not know. It's like getting involved in the work to see it all. But it's interesting, of course. Well, here's some kind of practice there. I would love to share my experience. We have already said this more than once with our colleagues, that these are interesting people. They're not even people. I don't even know what to call them.
Do you remember, yes, over the years of your practice, some most extraordinary case that you can't forget, for example, for some reason?
Yes, there was also the late Andrei Satinenko. He calls me, says, "A client will come to you now," and I just came out of the battle. Well, I started to swim people, and I, of course, have already begun to see more, as if how much people, let's say so, have gone crazy on magic. That's generally hit with magic. And here I am. A woman comes to me. She tells me, I need a certificate. I say, what kind of help? I say, I'm not a doctor. She tells me, I need to get a doctor to sign a certificate for me. I'm not like you. I say, well, it's understandable that you are not like me. She says, and I'm from that world. I say, I see. And why the certificate? My mission is to get on the ship. Or what kind of ship? He says I need to go to sea, but the doctor does not sign the certificate. But I understand that the person there is really a fool. I understand, and I tell her. And what do I have to do with it? Make sure that the doctor signs the certificate for me, because where I haven't applied, no one can help me. And I say, how long have you been communicating with this doctor? Well, he put me in the hospital periodically. Here, and she tells me all this, that he has half a head of some kind of titanium, half a head of some kind of liquid. And that's when I realized that a person came to me with a shift. But, so there are a lot of cases and very different. There are such cats.
Fine cats.
Yes, I was looking for cats. Yes, I was looking for chains, and I was looking for passports. I was looking for everything.
Well, that is, in principle, I am.
And they ordered a love spell for Lazarev, Sergei Lazarev, the singer.
Will you take it?
No, of course not.
Well, when?
Well, this is already. Well, what kind of spell? Which Lazarev?
Specifically, what you, under no circumstances, well, will not undertake.
Children under the age of 18. I won't even look.
So this is to help.
For me it is. No.
Why until 18?
Because children under 18 see what we see.
Everything.
Yes.
Without exception.
Yes. They just don't attach any importance to it. Especially small children. I'm not taking the kids to the reception at all. Don't even show it. No. Because, well, I'm with black magic. I'm afraid I can do harm. This is taboo for me.
And at the expense of what harm can happen.
I won't want it myself, but the child will already be like a payoff already. The forces love this.
Children.
Weak ones, weak energy, of course.
Do you participate in group rites?
That
For what purpose?
gratitude to the owner. We also have our own holidays. We elevate him.
What does he give in return?
Strength.
Gives you strength. Specifically already for a group or for one person?
Everyone has a little bit.
Well, that is for the group. Yes. If the ritual is a group one.
Well, damn it. How do you like it? It would be easier for you to look at it all, but you can't.
Not allowed.
Of course, to attend such events.
A couple of rituals were shown, we went, filmed, but suddenly. Can we set up cameras like this on the side?
This is Bald Mountain.
So we were on Bald Mountain and not that.
How do people say which is Sabbath on us? So we have this hat here. Andriy Satenenko, Kobzar, Vitya Litovsky, Cantonists. We were all together, yes. I started with them. Andriy Satenenko brought me to them. I started with them. And now they've, well, disconnected.
Grown up.
Well, yes, I don't consider myself weak. I don't think I have any rivals.
Is there often rivalry in your field?
No,
No. That is,
no.
all of each other.
It even happens that you need to ask for help.
In some kind of ritual. Yes.
Yes, there are such, yes.
Are there people who are not affected by magic?
There are people, but I haven't had them yet. But there are these people. I tell you again, they are not like us.
These are the others, right?
Yes, that's what I am. Yes, that's what I told you.
So no magic works on them.
Here they are interesting such a character. I'm telling you, it's great to work with him.
Are there many of them among us?
That's enough.
Is that enough?
Yes.
Svetlana, thank you very much.
And thank you.
For a fascinating conversation, for the experience, for the details. All the best to you. Dear friends, thank you very much for being with us. All the best to you and be vigilant. Hello. Shadow Control is on the air. Every person in his life repeatedly encounters magic and what is inexplicable. And when faced with this, he often forgets, although the consequence remains. And the question is, what is magic? False or true? Magic exists, and it is real. If magic was a fantasy or a deception, it wouldn't have existed for so many thousands of years. And throughout all this time, it has seduced and seduces the masses of people to this day. Magic is the oldest and most numerous religion, the religion of Satan, whose adherents are even atheists. That is why all the prophets at all times said about the inadmissibility of practicing magic, that magic does not lead to hell. And yet, some religions, originally built on the true teachings introduced by the prophets, today openly engage in magic, conduct various magical rituals, offerings, sacrifices. But after all, the prophets did not do this and, moreover, bequeathed not to do it. All these actions are imposed by the devil. Just like begging. Allegedly, God has material goods and health. But the prophets said, it is not worth asking God for anything, except for the salvation of the soul. It turns out that those who had to fight and resist magic openly serve Satan. Why is she so attractive? When people, knowing about the ruinousness, and, nevertheless, exchange the eternal for the momentary, ghostly material. Yes, the invisible world exists, and it is diverse, like the ocean is full of unknown life. And together with you, friends, we would like to understand a little bit about what magic really is, why it is so tempting, and how the invisible world really works.